Are you kidding me right now? The Miami Dolphins actually got something right. In a season full of disasters, questionable decisions, and complete organizational chaos, the front office finally made a move that actually makes sense. They kept Achane. And after watching what he just did to the Buffalo Bills, I'm here to tell you, this might be the single smartest decision this franchise has made all year. Let me set the stage for you. The NFL trade deadline was supposed to be a fire sale in Miami. Everyone expected the Dolphins to blow it up, ship out their best players, and tank for draft picks. The phones were ringing off the hook, and according to reports published in the last 24 hours, the most coveted name on the market was running back Achane. Teams were calling. Teams were offering. And you know what the Dolphins did? They told everyone to back off unless they were willing to pay a premium price, a second-round pick, and more. And guess what? Nobody paid it. And thank goodness they didn't. Because keeping Achane might be the only thing that gives this franchise any hope of salvaging this disastrous season. Let's talk about why the Dolphins set that price so high. In today's NFL, running backs are undervalued. Teams don't want to pay them. They don't want to draft them high. The conventional wisdom is that running backs are replaceable, that you can find production in the later rounds or in free agency. But the Dolphins looked at Achane and said, this guy is different. This guy is special. And if you want him, you're going to have to pay like he's a franchise cornerstone. That second-round pick demand wasn't just a negotiating tactic. It was a statement. It was a front office saying, we believe in this player, and we're not giving him away for pennies on the dollar. And here's the critical part. By holding firm on that price, the Dolphins signal that they're not in full rebuild mode. As the article states, if other teams had paid the high cost that the Dolphins were seeking, it would have pushed them into a total rebuild. However, with the Dolphins holding firm on their prices, it put the team on a retooling trajectory instead of a complete overhaul. That's huge. The Dolphins are not tanking. They're not giving up on this core. They're retooling. And Achane is the centerpiece of that retool. He's the foundation they're building around. And after what we just saw against Buffalo, can you blame them? Let me hit you with some numbers, because the production speaks for itself. Since being drafted in the third round in 2023, Achane has been nothing short of elite. We're talking about over 3,500 total yards and 32 total touchdowns, 19 rushing, 13 receiving. He's not just a runner. He's a complete offensive weapon. He's got over 1,100 receiving yards, showing incredible chemistry with Tua Tagovailoa in the passing game. This is a guy who impacts a game in multiple ways. He's a home run threat every time he touches the ball. And the Dolphins looked at that production and said, yeah, we're not trading this guy unless someone completely overpays. And here's what really gets me. Achane is on pace to eclipse 1,000 rushing yards for the first time in his career. People doubted whether a guy who's 5'9" and 188 pounds could handle a full workload, whether he'd fight through tackles and be a true bell cow back. Well, guess what? He's proving all the doubters wrong. He's showing that his size doesn't matter when you have elite speed, vision, and toughness. The article makes it clear Achane is one of the most impactful players the Dolphins have. He's not just a nice piece, he's essential. Now let's talk about what he just did to the Buffalo Bills, because this performance was an absolute statement game. The Dolphins came into this matchup at 2-7, desperate for any kind of positivity in what most people had written off as a lost season. They were facing a Bills team fighting for the division title, a team with playoff aspirations. And Achane absolutely took over. He rushed for 174 yards on 22 carries. That's an absurd 7.9 yards per attempt. He scored 2 rushing touchdowns. And he added 6 receptions for 51 yards, finishing as the second leading receiver on the team behind only Jalen Waddle. This wasn't just a good game. This was a dominant, game-changing performance that carried the Dolphins to a 30-13 victory over a legitimate playoff contender. And here's the pattern that's emerging. When the Dolphins lean on Achane, they look like a completely different team. The article points out that Miami's other strong performances this season, like the Week 4 win over the Jets and a close loss to the Chargers in Week 6, all came when Achane was heavily involved. When he gets 20-plus touches, when he's the focal point of the offense, the Dolphins are competitive. When they try to be a pass-first, spread it out team, and relegate Achane to a complementary role, they get blown out. It's that simple. This team is at its best when they feed number 28, and the front office recognized that by refusing to trade him. Let me also address the elephant in the room. What does this mean for Tua Tagovailoa? Because the article makes a critical point. Losing Achane would have a significant impact on the Dolphins' offense, putting even more pressure on Tagovailoa. And that's absolutely true. Tua has struggled mightily this season. He can't handle pressure. He can't extend plays. He can't elevate the offense when things break down. But you know what helps a struggling quarterback? A dominant running game. When Achane is gashing defenses for 7, 8, 9 yards a pop, it opens up everything else. It keeps defenses honest. It sets up play action. It takes pressure off Tua to be perfect on every drop back. Keeping Achane wasn't just about preserving a talented player. It was about giving Tua the best possible chance to succeed. And if Tua still can't get it done with a running back putting up performances like we saw against Buffalo, then the front office will have all the evidence they need that the problem is the quarterback, not the supporting cast. Here's my final take, and I want to be absolutely clear about this. The Miami Dolphins made the right call keeping Achane. In a season full of mistakes, this was a moment of clarity. This was the front office recognizing that you don't give away generational talent just because you're having a bad year. Achane is 24 years old. He's on a rookie contract. He's producing at an elite level. He's a game changer in both the run game and the passing game. And most importantly, he's the kind of player you build around, not the kind of player you trade away for draft picks that might not pan out. The Dolphins set a premium price, nobody met it, and now they get to keep their best offensive weapon. That's not just good business. That's smart football. The performance against Buffalo proved everything. When this team commits to the run, when they make Achane the focal point, they can beat anybody. They just took down a division rival that's fighting for a playoff spot. They did it convincingly. And they did it because they have a running back who can take over a game. The Dolphins are not in full rebuild mode. They're retooling. And Achane is the foundation of that retool. If they can build around him, if they can continue to feature him the way they did against Buffalo, this team has a chance to turn things around. But if they go back to ignoring him, if they go back to asking Tua to carry the offense, we're going to see more of the same disasters we've seen all season. But that's my take. Do you think the Dolphins were right to keep Achane, or should they have cashed him while his value was high? Is he the key to saving this season, or is it too little, too late? And what does this mean for Tua's future if the offense only works when Achane is dominating? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more in-depth breakdowns of the moves that actually matter, smash that subscribe button, and let's keep this conversation going.